Jason, good morning to you. Well, actually, we're now roughly 35 minutes just south of Tallahassee here in Crawfordsville. And as you can see, the rain is actually really starting to come down here. We're in the parking lot right now of the Publix just off of US 13. As for the wind, it's starting to pick up a bit, but look at these flags over here. You can see them blowing a little bit here in the rain. And it's really, honestly, it's just the rain that we're dealing with right now. As I mentioned, it has picked up within the last 30 minutes or so, but as we were driving down here this morning from Tallahassee, it's very quiet. You know, yesterday, Governor Ron DeSantis told anyone who lives within, this area, the Big Bend area, if you are given an evacuation notice, to leave immediately. As we were coming down here this morning, we noticed the streets were very quiet, not a lot of traffic out there. Of course, it is early in the morning right now, so people are probably sleeping, but traffic was very light out here this morning. Also, we noticed that some of the businesses around here and some of the homes as well, they haven't really boarded up their windows or doors. The only thing that we're really seeing, especially in this plaza area here, maybe a couple sandbags in front of the door. So I'm not sure if the folks who live within this area are really taking this very seriously. As Jason mentioned, this is going to develop very quickly into a Cat 4 when it makes landfall. This will happen around sunrise this morning. But again, the wind right now isn't too bad. It's the rain that we're dealing with. We're seeing a little bit of ponding right now in this parking lot as well. Some people are actually in their vehicles here. I don't know if they're waiting for Publix to open up or not. We're not sure if they are going to open today. But again, we are anticipating this storm here, Hurricane Idalia, to make landfall around sunrise. Again, could develop into that Cat 4 when it does come on shore. Winds more than 120 miles per hour. To give you a rough idea how close we are to shore, probably about 9 to 12 miles away, so anywhere from 15 to 20-minute drive. And as that storm surge does eventually come on shore here, we're not too sure how far it's going to actually push up, so we figured this was probably the safest area for us this morning in this parking lot. We're a bit of an elevated area, and we feel that we're safe being far enough away from the coastline, so we feel that we shouldn't be affected by the storm surge. But again, the winds, they are starting to gradually pick up out here a little bit this morning, but again, as I mentioned earlier, it's the rain that we're dealing with right now. It continues to come down a little bit harder and a little bit faster. Of course, we will be live out here all morning long to bring you live reports. I've got my colleague, Justin, he's out here as well. He is going to be, Justin Hobbs, he's going to be out here talking a little bit about the conditions, a little bit about, the weather conditions, what we can be seeing as it starts to deteriorate these conditions. But again, a lot of the people who are out here this morning, which we did find interesting, they haven't boarded up their businesses, they haven't boarded up their homes. This could be because they really haven't seen a major hurricane since around the early 1950s, maybe the 1955, 56 years. So that is a little bit concerning because this is going to be a major hurricane when it does come on shore. Again, we will be live out here all morning long. We'll bring you constant updates as this storm continues to develop, and again, when it continues to come on shore. But I do have my colleague, First Alert Meteorologist Justin Hobbs. He'll be out here live with me all morning long, and we will keep everybody in front of this storm and let you know the conditions as they continue to deteriorate. But for now, I'm reporting live here in Crawfordsville. I'm Alan Campbell. We'll send it back to you. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm NBC2 anchor Alan Campbell, live this morning here in Crawfordsville, just about 30 minutes south of Tallahassee and probably anywhere about 15 to 20 minutes just north of the coast right now. We are in the middle of a Publix parking lot just off of US 319. The wind and the rain really starting to pick up as we anticipate Hurricane Idalia to make landfall here around sunrise. I've got my anemometer here right now. I want to give you a rough idea of what we're dealing with the winds currently right now. If I just hold it up like so, the wind speeds vary right now anywhere between 10 and 20 miles per hour. Right now it's showing me around 15 miles per hour. So again, right now the winds have really started to pick up. The rain is also starting to really pick up right now. It's coming down a lot stronger and a lot harder. All morning long, we will be live here in Crawfordsville. We'll be reporting throughout this area as we anticipate and we wait for Hurricane Idalia to make landfall. My colleague, First Alert Meteorologist Justin Hobbs, he is out here with me as well. He will have more about the weather impacts as the storm continues to strengthen. But again, right now, the rain and the wind really starting to pick up as Hurricane Idalia continues to pick up speed, continues to pick up strength, and will anticipate to make landfall here around sunrise. For now, reporting live in Crawfordsville, I'm Alan Campbell. Back to you. Yeah, you know, Jason, the weather out here has really started to deteriorate. In fact, the winds have started to pick up. The rain is now coming down even harder, even faster, if you can believe it. We're in Crawfordville right now, just south of Tallahassee, roughly about 35 minutes south of Tallahassee, and roughly anywhere from 9 to 10 miles away from the shore, just north. So that's about a 15, maybe 20-minute drive. Right now, we're in the Publix parking lot here, just off of US 319. And as I was mentioning, you know, the conditions out here have really started to deteriorate. In fact, I've got my anemometer here right now, and you can really feel that sometimes the winds really start to pick up and then they start to ease down again. But right now, this anemometer goes to a max of 60 miles per hour. And right now we're actually hitting 28, 27 miles per hour right now. My last live report out here, we were hitting anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour. So again, that wind, it continues to build up as we are continuing to stay live out here for you this morning. On our way down from Tallahassee down here to Crawfordville, we did notice there was a lot of businesses and some homes, not a lot of people actually on the roadways. But one thing that was interesting, a lot of these places, they didn't have any boards up on their windows or on front of their businesses. Hopefully they're taking this very, very seriously, especially now that Hurricane Idalia has been upgraded to that Category 4. As you mentioned, winds are going to be more than 130 miles per hour right now. But we figured that this parking lot here at Publix would be our safest bet. But you can see from the rain that continues to come down, it's coming down a lot faster, a lot harder. Our entire crew out here this morning, we are soaking wet right now. We also have, if Mitch, you can just show these flags over here so you can see what the wind is looking like, and as it is hitting these flags, you can see them really starting to blow there in the wind. And just across the street, there's a Circle K. You can see some cars right now, they actually just filled up and could be heading back home, but it's been really quiet out here this morning, which is good. A lot of people hopefully taking this storm very, very seriously. You know, it hasn't been since around 1950, maybe the mid-1950s, since this area, the Big Bend area, really experienced a significant hurricane like the one that is about to hit this area. Yes, there has been some smaller hurricanes that have come through here, but this one, it's going to be devastating for a lot of the folks who live especially closer to the coastline. Again, we picked this area, the Publix, off of US 319, just because we felt it was a little bit safer. It's a bit of an elevated area, but the wind, I can feel it right now as I'm just talking to you. Again, it is starting to pick up. I'll take a look at my anemometer again, and yeah, now we're going about 28 to 30 miles per hour. So again, this storm it's getting closer. It's expected to make landfall around just before 8 o'clock this morning. So we will be live out here all morning long to keep you updated, let you know how these conditions are deteriorating. Also, my colleague, NBC2 First Alert Meteorologist Justin Hobbs, he is out here. He'll be able to tell you how this storm is developing as well. But stay with NBC2 News all day today because we will provide you much more information. For now, reporting live in Crawfordville, I'm Alan Campbell. We'll send it back to you. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm NBC2 anchor Alan Campbell here. We've actually moved back to our location in Tallahassee. We were in Crawfordville a little bit earlier. It was getting a little too dangerous there, so the entire crew, we moved back actually into our hotel room. But I want to show you what we're seeing out here right now. If you can, it's a little foggy out there, but right now there's still a lot of rain that is coming down. It's coming down quickly. It's coming down hard. Also, the winds are starting to pick up here as well. We know Hurricane Idalia is now a Category 4 with winds more than 120 miles per hour. Expected to make landfall here any moment now. Sorry, it's a Category 3. Again, we're all actually in the hotel room right now. I've got First Alert Meteorologist Justin Hobbs over here, keeping a close eye on everything for me, monitoring. We've got the entire crew here, trying to keep everybody updated, let them know what is going on. Winds more than 120 miles per hour, expected to make landfall in roughly about an hour or so in the Big Bend area. This area really hasn't been hit hard by anything like this in quite some time, so a lot of people, they are concerned. In fact, when we got back to the lobby here probably just a few moments ago, we saw an older couple. They were down there, and we asked them, we said, hey, are you from the Tallahassee area? They said, yes, we are, but our neighborhood where we live has a lot of trees. We were concerned, so we left. They came here to this hotel so that they can stay safe. They didn't want to talk to us on camera. They just felt very uncomfortable with that, but they said we could share their story. But again, the rain is coming down really hard here right now. The wind as well. This is probably the safest bet for us. When we can get outside, take you out there for a live look and tell you what we are actually seeing out there as we continue to dry off a little bit. We'll show you how quickly those winds are picking up the speeds, but we did check before we came in. They were roughly around, what would you say, Justin, the wind speed?
25 to 30 miles per hour. Again, we're back here in Tallahassee right now. We came back because where we were, Crawfordville, was just a little bit too dangerous there. We felt safe, but the winds were starting to really pick up. We wanted to be somewhere where we can get indoors, and that's the best advice now for anybody who is up in this area. Stay inside and stay away from the windows as well, because once the winds do eventually pick up, there could be projectiles that come through the windows. But again, I want to show you outside what we are taking a look at in front of our hotel room. You can see the winds are really starting to pick up. The rain continues to come down. Some folks are running in here to the hotel right now. A lot of people just trying to take cover. Again, we are back here in Tallahassee, less than 1 hour, and Hurricane Idalia expected to make landfall. And folks here, I think that they are really now starting to take this warning very, very seriously. When we were driving around town here, a lot of businesses, a lot of homes, they didn't actually have anything boarded up. Those windows, they were still open. So a lot of people, may not have been prepared for this, but some people, like that couple we spoke to in the lobby downstairs, they said we weren't taking any chances because here in Tallahassee there are a lot of trees. But again, right now we are safe. Our entire morning team is safe. We're all huddled up here in our hotel room as we continue to track and monitor Hurricane Idalia. We'll try and get you back outside so we can show you what we're dealing with the rain and the wind as soon as we possibly can and as soon as it is safe. But now, reporting live here in Tallahassee, I'm Alan Campbell. We'll send it back to you guys. Well, Lisa, where we were there in Crawfordville, you could see when we were out there, meteorologist Justin Hobbs and myself, you could see the rain really coming down. The wind was really starting to pick up. When we packed up and left, we could notice the difference in the wind and the rain as we started getting closer to Tallahassee. But once we walked inside of our hotel, it was just like an instant where that wind really just started to pick up. The rain continued to come down a lot harder. So we're now seeing more of that weather pattern here in Tallahassee, where things are starting to get a little bit more active. Justin, you were mentioning we're now on the west side of the storm, which is actually a little bit better for us. Is that right? Yeah, a little bit better for us. So again, we're still noticing, even if you are on the left side of that storm, we're noticing those impacts and the weather really starting to deteriorate out here. But again, Lisa and the entire team back there at the station there in Fort Myers, we will take you live outside and show you the weather and how it is deteriorating here as well.
Hey everyone, I'm NBC2 anchor Alan Campbell here in Tallahassee as Hurricane Idalia has made the landfall. Right now, you can see it is coming down really hard here right now. A lot of rain, a lot of wind. In fact, the wind is starting to pick up here, anywhere from 30 to 35 miles per hour, if not more. The rain as well seems to be continuously coming down a little bit harder and a little bit faster. Right now, there are no reports of any flooding on any of the roadways here, which is good news, but a lot of people, at least in this area where we are in front of our hotel room, they are hunkering indoors to let this storm pass by before they eventually go back out. Of course, we will be here in Tallahassee all morning long to bring you the very latest on Hurricane Idalia. Reporting in Tallahassee, I'm Alan Campbell, NBC2. Well, Lisa, I'm sure you can see a lot of this rain is still coming down right now. In fact, it's coming down a lot harder and a lot faster here. We are in Tallahassee right now. In fact, we're just in front of our hotel where we stayed last night preparing for Hurricane Idalia, but the winds, they have started to pick up as well. I've got my anemometer here right now, and wind speeds vary right now in between 20 and 25 miles per hour, but every once in a while we do get a gust. Sometimes I've actually checked on here and it's more than 30 miles per hour. So that is happening every once in a while. Again, so we are in Tallahassee right now, but Crawfordville, which was 35 minutes south of Tallahassee, that's where we were earlier this morning. We really started to feel those impacts. It started to get a little too dangerous. So we came back north to Tallahassee, but as you can see, I mean, this rain, it continues to come down right now. The wind, the gust, it continues to pick up every once in a while. Now, I was speaking with our NBC2 First Alert meteorologist, Justin Hobbs. He's with me up here in Tallahassee this morning. He was mentioning, we are on the west side of Hurricane Idalia, which I guess you can say is a little bit better for us, but still, you're still dealing with a lot of rain and a lot of wind. Again, Every once in a while we get that gust that just comes through in front of this hotel where we are right now. In fact, the parking lot here has a lot of people, construction workers, who are actually supposed to be doing some jobs today. They decided, hey, they're going to stay here in this hotel, postpone doing those jobs. We also saw in the back parking lot, there was some electrical companies who are here. They say they're prepared just in case the power does go off, but thankfully, so far it hasn't. There are some folks who are also staying inside this hotel who tell me, you know, they live here in Tallahassee, but say where their neighborhood is, there are a lot of trees and they don't want to take the risk of staying there. And with these windy conditions and those gusts that occasionally come through, they don't want one of those trees to fall on top of their homes. They said, we're not taking any chances. We're actually going to come and stay inside a hotel. A lot of folks we talked to, unfortunately, they really didn't want to go on camera, but say, hey, listen, we knew what was coming. We wanted to be prepared. You know, the Big Bend area here hasn't really seen a massive storm, something like this, in quite some time. And we know that Hurricane Idalia now has made landfall, as Lauren was mentioning, as a Category 3 with winds more than 120 miles per hour. Some people, I'm sure, are still inside their homes. But again, several counties that are around here right now, Cedar Bay dealing with massive flooding going on right there. But here in Tallahassee, right now, it's mostly just a lot of wind and a lot of rain, as you can see. But yeah, we are still being out here with our anemometer, testing out and seeing what kind of gusts we are getting, as I mentioned earlier. Right now, anywhere from maybe like 15 to 20 miles per hour, but those gusts every once in a while really come in and are a little bit more than 30 miles per hour. Our team, we're going to be staying up here in Tallahassee for quite some time, making sure that we keep you up to date with everything that is going on as Hurricane Idalia makes landfall. We are planning right now, our game plan is to stay here for maybe about another 30 or 40 minutes. When it is safe to do so, we will then head to another direction to, again, bring you a live report and tell you what is going on as Hurricane Idalia continues to hit this Big Bend area. We'll also bring you some more reports about any damage that we see as well. So be sure to stay right here with NBC2 all day today as we continue to keep you updated on Hurricane Idalia as it makes landfall here in Florida. Reporting live in Tallahassee, I'm Alan Campbell. We'll send it back to you. Yeah, hey Chris, things are actually, it's kind of strange what's going on right now. Things are relatively calm. It's more of just a real bad rainstorm here. Earlier on, I was able to do a phone interview with Lisa and let her know about a couple transformers in this area here, actually in front of our hotel just off I-10. Both of those transformers, they blew, knocked out power to really everyone in this entire area, including the traffic lights that are over here as you get off just I-10 and some of the restaurants here. But a lot of the hotels here in Tallahassee as well, where we are, again, this is just off of I-10, they are all now without power. But the rain, it's kind of let up a little bit. It's kind of coming on hard and then it's kind of laying up a little bit. The wind right now is actually a lot calmer than it was probably 30 minutes or so ago. Again, as Hurricane Idalia made landfall, we have been in several different spots. We were in down about 35 minutes south of where we are here in Tallahassee. Here you go. I don't know if you can see it or not, but yeah, we just got another wind gust here kind of pushing me back a little bit. So the winds, they continue to vary. But we were about 35 minutes south of Tallahassee here a little bit earlier this morning, Crawfordville, and winds and the rain there was really starting to build up as Hurricane Idalia was picking up speed and getting ready to make landfall shortly before 8 o'clock this morning. We were there for several hours, but then we realized it was too dangerous, so we moved up closer to Tallahassee, and then we noticed that the storm was actually following us up here as well as it continued to make that easterly turn. But again, as I mentioned, you know, things are really not, I don't want to say calm, but they've it's a lot lighter out here right now. Every once in a while you get that wind gust, you get the rain that comes down, but again, the big story right now is that power outage in at least this area right now. We know all the hotels are affected, the restaurants, some of the street lights as well. We know the hotel where we were staying, the crew inside, they're actually working right now trying to get the power back on and operational. In fact, I've got my colleague, NBC2 First Alert meteorologist Justin Hobbs. He's here with us right now. He'll be coming up here in moments, tell you a little bit more about these weather conditions and why they are changing so much right now. Of Of course, we were on the west side of the hurricane, which, you know, is considered, I guess, probably the better side. The right side is notoriously known by all meteorologists as the dirty side. We were on the west side, so we were dealing mostly with a lot of rain and wind this morning, which I guess was pretty good. But again, right now things are relatively mild. Again, the rain, it is coming down, yes. Winds, they continue to pick up. Every once in a while, we do get those gusts. At one point, we saw the winds anywhere from 40 to 45 miles per hour. I don't have my anemometer with me right now. If I did, I would use it. I'm going to actually grab it. I've got it back in the truck over there. I can tell you, just by feeling the winds, probably anywhere from maybe 5 to 10 miles per hour. But again, that storm is moving away from us, and we'll have meteorologist Justin Hobbs up here momentarily. He'll be able to tell you a little bit about the changing weather conditions out here. But again, still a lot of rain and a lot of wind. That is what we're dealing with right now. For now, reporting live here in Tallahassee, I'm Alan Campbell. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio. Yeah, that's exactly right, Chris. You know, as I was mentioning earlier, that the wind continues to fluctuate. Right now, we're getting a little bit of a gust, and I've got my anemometer right here, and it's saying that the wind right now is around 12 miles per hour, but then it will die down for maybe another 5 or 10 minutes where the wind is maybe, you know, anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. But we are still continuing to see some of the effects from Hurricane Idalia as it made landfall here in the Big Bend area just before 8 o'clock this morning. You know, here in Tallahassee right now, the big story is the power outage. In fact, our hotel where we're staying, they lost power probably 2 hours ago. They're still trying to get the power restored. We heard 2 loud bangs, and all of a sudden everything just went black. There's a lot of hotels in this area just off of I-10 here in Tallahassee, and everyone right now doesn't have any power whatsoever. In fact, at last check in Leon County, which Tallahassee is in, more than 45,000 people right now are in a power outage. So that is a lot of people. We know that crews, they will be out to get that power restored as quickly as possible. But besides the rain that continues to come down and the spurts of wind, what I want to show you here, which is interesting, I've showed this to meteorologist Justin Hobbs earlier, but I want you to take a look at these clouds over here. They continue to move out. These darker clouds, they continue to move to the east, and we're kind of seeing like a little bit of light in between the clouds there. Justin was mentioning to me, this is kind of like the tail end of the storm. We're kind of in what is called, I guess, the, as Justin mentioned, the exit zone. So therefore, we're seeing a lot of these clouds kind of move away, kind of follow the direction of that storm as it's going now into southern Georgia. But as you can see, Chris, yeah, we are starting to get like the wind. It's calming down a bit. We got another gust. The anemometer says right now, yeah, this is 9 miles per hour. So still feeling the effects of Hurricane Idalia. The wind continues to come down, and I'm assuming that it will continue. The rain will come down for the next several hours or so, but hopefully they can get the power back on here in Leon County. As I was mentioning, more than 45,000 people right now without power. But we are going to be staying here in Tallahassee for the next several hours. Then we're planning on moving our entire crew to see where we can go and see the effects and any damage that was left behind following Hurricane Idalia when it made landfall around 8 o'clock this morning. But for now, we are reporting live here in Tallahassee. I'm Alan Campbell for NBC2. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Hey, Chris. So, you know what? Actually, just a couple of minutes ago, we saw what looked like appeared to be a little bit of sunlight coming through the clouds as they are moving out from here in Tallahassee. They continue to move east, which is incredible. Take a look over here. You can see they still have those dark clouds here, but they are moving, and they're moving out of this area right now, which is some great news. And, you know, my colleague, NBC2 First Alert meteorologist Justin Hobbs, he's up here in Tallahassee with me right now. He was mentioning, you know, this is a good sign. This is a sign that we are in the exit zone of the storm as it continues to move into Georgia right now. But as you can see, still dealing with these wet, soggy conditions. The rain is still coming down. A little bit of wind every once in a while. I've got my anemometer here with me, and to be honest with you, the wind gusts right now anywhere from 3 to 5 miles per hour. But every once in a while, there's like a strong wind burst that kind of comes through, like for right now, for example, where, yeah, we're seeing about 10 to 12 miles per hour. So this has been continuous all morning long. We also just checked with power outages here in Leon County, where Tallahassee is. More than 50,000 people are currently without power. Previously, I mentioned to you it was around 45,000, but that number has now gone up by about 5,000. So that's roughly 38% of the population here in Leon County is currently dealing with power outages, including the hotel where we stayed at last night. You know, it was probably several hours ago. We were getting ready to report to a live shot out here, and all of a sudden we heard 2 really loud bangs. There were transformers that just blew blew up, and then all of a sudden everything just went black. Thankfully, nobody was hurt or anything like that, but now everybody is in the dark. And there's a lot of hotels in this area as well. We're just off of I-10 here. So now all these hotel employees, they're basically just sitting in the lobby waiting and hoping for this power to come back on. But again, things are, you know, on the back end of this hurricane, Idalia, as it made landfall early this morning around 8 o'clock and then continues to move east. But most of the day we will just see a lot of this wind and this rain continuing to come down here. And as I mentioned, those clouds, they are just moving east right now. And it was pretty special and incredible just to see a little bit of that sunlight come through some of these dark clouds just a few moments ago. That was really nice to see, and, you know, even put a smile on all of our faces, because we've been out here all day reporting on Hurricane Idalia as it was making its way up the coast and then eventually making landfall here in the Grand Bend area. It's something interesting I want to mention here as well. Justin was just telling us, Justin, correct me if I'm wrong, that now in the Grand Bend area, this is now tied the major hurricane record. That's the strongest. Okay, so this Hurricane Idalia is actually tied now with the strongest hurricane that's ever hit the Grand Bend area. They've seen hurricanes before, but nothing, excuse me, as strong as Hurricane Idalia. So again, power outage, the big problem here right now in Leon County, more than 50,000 people without power. But again, the rain and the wind, it continues here right now. For reporting live right now in Tallahassee, I'm Alan Campbell. Excuse me, folks, we'll send it back to you guys. Right now we are in Perry, where this town was just ravaged by Hurricane Idalia. Take a look at what's going on behind me here. This is US 221. This is a major thoroughfare that goes through this small town. You can see those power poles are leaning over the road, those power lines down on the road. This road is just cut down to one lane right now. We've got law enforcement on the scene as well. They've closed this inner lane here where those power lines are currently on the road. Take a look at this McDonald's across the street. Look at that sign right there. The winds from Hurricane Idalia, at the point when it came here on land, anywhere from 110 up to 130 miles per hour. Over to the right of the McDonald's parking lot, we've got people trying to clear up some of that debris, some of those branches from those trees. They were uprooted as well. Now take a look down the road here. You can see the other restaurant signs. The wind just really blew through those signs. There's debris scattered all over the place here. You've got more poles that are leaning over. Right now, a lot of people are just out assessing the damage. When we drove through the town, we saw trees on homes. We saw some cars actually in ditches, water up to the doors as well. We'll continue to monitor the situation out here, try to talk to some folks here, see what the last 36 hours has been like for them. Reporting in Perry, I'm Alan Campbell, NBC2. I'm Alan Campbell in Perry. I want to show you some of the damage after Hurricane Idalia came through here and really ravaged this small town. We're currently in the parking lot of a Taco Bell, but look at this right here. This sign was ripped right out of the ground. This sign is super heavy, really hard to lift up, but I want to really show you some of the damage that it did to these trees back here. Look at these trees. Look at this one big tall tree right here. It is cut in half at the middle and is just on top of another tree. Now, we want to keep coming back here a little bit more because I want to show you what is behind this fence over here. This is a trailer park home over here. We're going to try and see if we can get back there somehow, but there are debris everywhere, branches all over the place. This fence has been smashed. Look at this enormous tree right here. This is the top of the tree right here. And then just, I want you to take a look all the way down here. This tree just goes all the way down into this trailer park that I was telling you about a little bit earlier. This tree just fell down on top of this fence. But come over here, Mitch, look at this. Again, back here, this is the trailer park. You can hear the chainsaws right now. Some of those homeowners are out there trying to cut down this debris. They're trying to just get their lives back in order. The last 36 hours for them has been an absolute nightmare. I can only imagine. This is really bringing back a lot of those Hurricane Ian vibes and what we went through ourselves and that whole entire cleanup process. But for these folks here in this small town of Perry, they're just beginning with this cleanup process. And then come over here again, Mitch. I want to show you this. Again, all these branches, debris scattered all over the place. But look over here as well, because these are huge trees, enormous trees. You can hear the sirens still. A lot of law enforcement, police, deputies, they're all out here trying to control what's going on. Power is still out. But look at this right over here. These were all trees at one point. Now they're all down. Some of them are just snapped in half like twigs, like toothpicks. Hurricane Idalia came through here. Winds anywhere from 110 to 125, maybe 130 miles per hour. Really just destroyed everything in its path. We're gonna try and talk to some people here in Perry and hear what they are saying about the last 36 hours, how their life has really been torn upside down here. A lot of folks right now are just kind of getting out and taking a look at the damage and taking a look at their town and what's left of it. It's just tough to see, you know, all these people coming back again, and deputies and people to clean up some of the debris. Yeah, it's a tough one, that's for sure. But again, we're going to try and talk to some folks and see what they have to say about the last 36 hours. How they've been dealing with this nightmare, and we're going to put that together for you so you can listen to what they have to say. But we're going to go and try and find some of those folks right now. Reporting here in Perry, I'm Alan Campbell for NBC2. You know, that's a great question, Chris, because as we were driving down I-10 from Tallahassee, we actually took a wrong turn and came onto US 221, which is a major thoroughfare that goes through Perry, and we saw trees down everywhere. We saw power lines scattered throughout the roadways, but take a look what's going on behind me here right now. This road right here, this is US 221. We have Duke Energy on scene right now. You can see these power poles. I count 3 of them right now. They're just leaning over the lane closest to us here, and those power lines are down right now. Now, these crews, they just actually arrived on scene here probably 15 minutes ago. They assessed the situation. They're going to get this fixed. I have to show you this too. We're in the parking lot right now of a Taco Bell. We figured this would be probably our safest bet with everything that's going on. A lot of places have power outages that are happening right now, but behind this fast food restaurant right here, there's actually a trailer park. I want to show you some of the damage that was done to some of the homes back here, and all the trees that have basically just fallen on top of them. We've got stop signs here in the parking lot as well, just blown over from those fierce winds. You know, when Hurricane Idalia hit Perry, those winds were anywhere from 110 miles per hour to, you know, 125 miles per hour. Folks here really, you know, have been dealing with the nightmare literally since the storm made landfall. But take a look at all of this right here. Look at these massive trees right now that are just on top of this fence. See this one big tree in your middle? Mitch, get this tree right here. Goes all the way top, and in the middle there, it's just snapped like a toothpick. These homes back here as well, a little earlier, we were listening to some folks out here and actually saw them. They had their chainsaws out and they're just trying to clear off whatever they can. There's a couple trees that are actually on those homes as well. And then over here, Mitch, let's take the folks over here. You can see, again, all these debris, trees, twigs everywhere, just scattered throughout the place. This spot over here, I don't know if you can get to it, Mitch, or not, but used to be a lot of trees right over here, a fence. There's actually a shed here as well. I don't know, can you show it, Mitch? Yeah, they're all gone right now. You know, seeing just all the crews out here as well, and all the devastation and the people who are now having to try to, you know, just get their lives back together. It's really tough to look at, but you know, with the people who are down here to help out, they can rebuild again. So again, US 221, major thoroughfare that's going through this town of Perry, just littered with power lines everywhere and trees scattered everywhere. You know, Duke Energy, they're here on scene right now. They're trying to fix the power poles that are down, get the power back up and running here to help these people get back on their feet. But you know, this really gives you those Hurricane Ian vibes. And just to think, you know, the last 36 hours, these people have been living a nightmare. And yeah, they've got a long road ahead, that is for sure. We are going to be moving locations here. Within the next 30 minutes, we're going to go more in town and show you what's actually happening in town, and show you just the damage that's been done there. But again, you look around here and it's a mess. It really is a war zone. But the people here in Perry, talk to a few of them. They say they're resilient. They're build back. They're going to build back stronger. It's going to take time, like we all know it does with Hurricane Ian. Nearly 11 months since Hurricane Ian hit us, if not more, coming up to a year now. And it's taken us that amount of time to build back, and the people here in Perry, they'll do the same thing. So again, we are going to be moving here. We're going to take you live a little bit later in the newscast, downtown area of Perry, just again show you what is happening down there. But you know, this is such a great sign to see how quickly these linemen came on scene here to get things fixed, to get things back up and running again. But right now, this is a war zone. There's plenty of debris everywhere, and people are just going to really try and pick up their lives the best that they can after living a 36-hour nightmare. Stay with us all afternoon into the evening here on NBC2. We'll bring you much more coverage here from Perry. For now, I'm Alan Campbell reporting live in Perry. Back to you guys. I'm Alan Campbell in Perry, Florida, where this small American town continues to pick up the pieces after Hurricane Idalia ravaged this small town. And take a look behind me here. You can see all this debris here. This is in front of the U.S. Post Office, just off of US 221, a major thoroughfare that goes through the town of Perry. This actually is the roof from the Tri-County Electric Cooperative, thrown over here from those strong, powerful winds from Hurricane Idalia. And unfortunately, scenes like this are all too common throughout the town of Perry, as people are now on the roads trying to figure out how to once again start their lives over. Well, Kelly and Peter, you know, the people here in Perry are really starting to come together. They're not wasting any time as a community coming together to clear up the debris and any of the damage that was left behind. In fact, just about 10 minutes or so ago, this road that's right beside me here, it was covered with trees. But there was a gentleman who brought his tractor down and actually cleared out all the trees and all the debris so that cars can go through here. The lady that is going into this home over here, look at her front yard. Look at all the debris that is on top of her roof. It's a common sight here in this small American town where we're seeing a lot of debris, branches, trees scattered all over people's houses. And unfortunately, take a look at this. This is another thing we're seeing a lot here in the town of Perry. These trees that are uprooted and blown over, laying literally all over people's yards and on the roadways. But I really want to bring your eyes and your attention to this over here. Those winds were so strong from Hurricane Idalia when it came here onshore, probably about 110, 120 miles per hour, ripped this tin roof right off of this business here, and then tossed that tin roof across over here, maybe about 75 yards in front of the Postal Service here in Perry, in front of a major thoroughfare, US 221. But you know what? As I mentioned earlier, the people here in Perry, they are coming together. They know the importance of being together as a community and helping each other out, similar to what we are doing in Southwest Florida nearly a year after Hurricane Ian, as we also continue to rebuild. But I want to show you something here that stood up to Hurricane Idalia. Mitch, can you zoom in on that? That is a sign of hope here for the people in Perry. That is Old Glory, high above on that pole, stood there the entire time and is flying right now in the wind. If there's anything that says that this city, the people here in Perry will rebuild, it's that sign of the American flag right there. But again, you know, really there is a lot of damage out here in Perry. Some of the folks we spoke to, they say they've never really seen a storm this intense, this powerful. They've had storms before. They didn't expect it to cause this much damage. But again, it's great to see really a lot of these people coming together, helping clean out and repair some of the damages, cut down trees, making sure that they can get to their destinations. Unfortunately, power hasn't been restored. Just a few moments ago as well, we saw major power companies from all over, not just here in Florida, but from Georgia, from North Carolina. They were all rolling down the street here. Again, that major thoroughfare setting up. They're going to try and get that power back up as quickly as possible to the folks here in Perry. We'll continue to monitor the situation here and bring you any new updates. For now, reporting live in Perry, I'm Alan Campbell. We'll send it back to you guys. Everywhere here in Perry you look, there's just destruction and devastation. Here at Big Bend Technical College, take a look here. I just spoke with a school resource officer a few moments ago. He tells me that students were actually not in class today. They have the entire week off, and that was a good thing. But you can just see all the trees, tree limbs just scattered all over the property. But let me take your eyes over here. Look at this here. This area used to be filled with enormous pine trees. Now they're all just cut in half like they were nothing, just like small little skinny twigs. You can see some of them cut in half right in the middle there as Hurricane Idalia made landfall earlier this morning around 8 o'clock. You know, those winds, when it
finally came on shore, roughly 110 to 120 miles per hour, really destroying everything in its path. A lot of people who are living in this town, they're coming out, they're taking a look, they're surveying the damage themselves. Power continues to be out, so they're just kind of going around seeing if anybody needs any help. But the majority of the people who I spoke to, they say they're ready to rebuild, they're ready to get together as a community, and they're ready to put this hurricane behind them. The city of Perry has a long way to go. Reporting in Perry, I'm Campbell, NBC2.